Do you want to avoid a first date disaster? As a dating coach for men, I've collected hundreds of hilarious and horrifying first date stories. Today I'm going to share 5 cringe-worthy first date disasters and give you 5 lessons to help you have great first dates. And at the end, I'll tell you about the guy who actually brought a cocaine dealer to a first date. Talk about a snort-term relationship. I'm dating coach and best-selling author Connell Barrett. I help introverted men attract their dream girlfriends by being authentic. No creepy pickup tricks needed. So let's dive in and meet Ray, a film student who showed his date a movie where he murders his girlfriend. Thumbs down. First date disaster number 1. Murder she watched. Ray is a UCLA film student. He was on a first date with Sarah when he had not one, but 2 first date disasters. First, he had a panic attack at the restaurant. He'd forgotten his anxiety meds and began shaking. So they went to his apartment to get his pills, and he felt better. Next, Ray decides to impress Sarah and show her a student film that he starred in. Sounds good, right? No. In the movie, Ray's character murders his girlfriend with an axe. So imagine poor Sarah sitting on the couch on a first date with a guy who just had a panic attack, and she's watching him go all Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Here's Johnny!
Sarah was already on edge from Ray's panic episode, and she just felt really uncomfortable and decided to go home. Date over, never heard from her again. The lesson here for you: if a woman's uncomfortable in any way with you, there will not be a second date. So here's your first date move. It's totally okay to flex something that you're proud of on a date, but always ask yourself, will this make her feel comfortable or uncomfortable? If something makes her feel uncomfortable or might, don't do it. Also, when you're watching a movie on a date, make it a rom-com. Think Netflix and chill, not Netflix and kill. If you think watching a murder scene is awkward on a date, wait until you hear my boneheaded move. First date disaster number 2, bus ride to the friend zone. Long before I became a dating coach, I was just like you, a nice guy struggling to figure things out with women. And back in the day, I had a huge crush on a woman named Laura. She was pretty, she was witty, she was fantastic. Now, Laura had said to me for our first date, she said, let's keep it chill. Maybe watch a movie, grab some food. But did I listen? Hell no. I decided we had to have an epic first date because I watch a lot of movies, and it seems like big, grand gestures always work in movies. So, as a surprise for Laura, I planned 3 elaborate events all in one date. First, go to the top of the Empire State Building. Then, we would take a double-decker bus tour of Manhattan. And finally, we would have a fancy dinner at a French restaurant. It was like I was the producer of Amazing Race. So Laura meets me at the Empire State Building, and I tell her about my big 3-phase date. And she is not happy. She says, I don't want to do any of that. I just wanted to watch a movie with you. So we grab a quick, awkward drink. It doesn't go well, and I never heard from her again. Once again, I was the mayor of the friend zone. The lesson here is don't overplan a first date. Trying too hard tells her, I'm not enough for you, and that turns women off. So here's your first date move. Listen to her. Plan the date with her, not for her. Because a great first date is about connecting, not big production values. When Laura said to me, let's just watch a movie, she was basically saying, and maybe we'll fool around. But I just didn't get it. Here's your bonus tip. Remember, you are enough. Women like you for your authentic self, not planning fancy dates. Never forget that. Authenticity is the answer. So, that would-be bus ride was a total train wreck. The next story, it's creepier than a haunted house. First date disaster number 3, nip slip of the tongue. My friend Katie had a first date with a guy from Bumble. He shows up at the pub, and pretty much the first words out of his mouth are, so what size are your nipples? She said, huh? And he doubles down and he says, what size specifically are your nipples? I want a woman who has areolas the size of silver dollars. Is that what size your nipples are? Like, whoa, silver dollar areolas? The US Mint is filing a restraining order against this guy. One drink later, she was out of there. Here's the lesson. Don't sexualize a woman focusing on her body parts. Flirtation is great. Objectification is not. Here's your first date move. Talk about her traits, not her Tell her you like her humor, her style, her energy, not her body parts. In other words, focus on who she is and what she does, not what she has. And hey, I hope this guy found the right girl for him. Maybe Ariana Grande has a sister named Ariola Grande. Now that one is over, you will not believe this Hinge date. Date disaster number 4, dinner and a eulogy. My friend Emily matched with a guy named Jerry. They met for dinner, and he quickly dropped this bomb. His great-grandma, Nana Bird, had just died. And I mean just died. Jerry had come to the date directly from Nana Bird's funeral. Not only that, but he started crying during the date. He pulls out his phone, and then he actually shows Emily photos of his dearly departed great-grandma lying in the casket. Not exactly the kinds of photos you want to show a woman on a date. Emily felt terrible for Jerry, and so do I, but it wasn't a date anymore. It was more like a wake. The lesson? Be an open book, not an open wound. I talk a lot about authenticity, but that means being the real best you. It's not a license to dump trauma on a woman. So here's your first date move. Follow the 3 Ps. Be positive, present, and playful. It's hard to be positive and playful if you're talking about heavy topics on first dates, so just don't do it. Okay, as promised, the last story passes the sniff test. Say hello to my little friend. Disaster number 5, practical coke. Megan was on a first date with a tech startup guy at a nice cocktail bar. About 45 minutes in, this guy in dark sunglasses shows up and hands the tech bro an envelope that contained a Ziploc bag. The mystery man shuffles off, and Megan realizes that her date had just received a cocaine delivery. And the guy says to her, I thought this might take the edge off. You know, dates can be stressful. Want to do some lines? She said, thanks, I'm good. And she ended the date soon thereafter. She didn't just friend zone him, she went into witness protection. The lesson here is, of course, never have coke delivered to a date. Have it sent directly to your home, like a normal person. Duh. And here's your first date move. If parts of your life are in chaos, addiction, financial struggles, career problems, I'm sorry, none of those things are fun, but first get those issues handled, then go into the dating world. Okay, what is your biggest dating disaster? Drop it in the comments. I want you to make me cringe. Oh, and if you're watching this and you're thinking, Connell, I don't want to be one of those dating disasters, what do I do? Well, here's what you do. I coach men like you to help make sure you have great, fun, confident first dates. So go to datingtransformation.com and book a free consultation call with me if you want to find out if my coaching can help you get a great girlfriend and also have some really fun, awesome first dates. Oh, and by the way, if we work together, I accept Venmo, PayPal, but I no longer accept Ziplocs filled with cocaine. Sorry. So go to datingtransformation.com, book a free call with me, and maybe we'll talk soon.